What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the What the Fun Show. Glad you're with us here today. Today we round out our Lord of the Rings trilogy content here. We are so excited to talk about Return of the King today. And I am joined by none other than... I was going to go your way first, but now I'm joined by Justin. How you doing, Justin?
I am Joe. You're right. And I am here. We're going to talk about Return of the King. Justin, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, this is Joe, and I'm so ready to talk about Return of the King today. I can't wait to round out this finally the final Lord of the Rings movie. One of the best, one of my favorites. I know, Mike, it's your favorite.
It is.
But yeah, this is Joe, and I'm glad to be here today.
Sounds just like me.
I got two Joes on the podcast. Well, listeners, thank you so much for once again joining us. But yeah, this does round out our content of the original 6 films of the Lord of the Rings saga there. And next week, look forward to us releasing a review of the first 2 episodes of the Rings of Power show that is coming on Amazon Prime. So we will be reviewing every single episode of that series. So stay tuned for all of that. And Lord of the Rings isn't done because we are doing a giveaway here for the 4K set of the extended editions for the original trilogy. Now, a little inside baseball here. It is very hard to just give away a digital code for movies we were finding. So the giveaway will be specifically for a gift card from VUDU, the VUDU digital movie website, for the amount that Lord of the Rings Extended Edition 4K is at the time. So I'll give you an example. Right now, if we were running the giveaway, or if we were to purchase it today, it's $20. So we would give you a gift card for $25 to cover, the taxes or whatever that is on top of that. But original price would be $30. So if at the time it's not on sale, we'll get you a gift card for $35 to cover taxes and everything. Also, if you already own the 4K Blu-ray set of the extended editions digitally, that is fine. You could still enter the giveaway, and then we are okay with you using the gift card towards other movies. Okay?
How does one enter that giveaway? What do they do?
Wow, you brought the words out of my mouth.
That's what Joe does.
Yeah. The way to enter this giveaway is simply to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you have to navigate to the Return of the King review on YouTube, on our YouTube channel.
That's this one.
And that's this one, the one that you're listening to right now. And you need to comment down below your favorite part of Return of the King. We know if you are subscribed. So if you are not subscribed and you comment your favorite thing down there, you will not be entered into the giveaway. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment down below what your favorite part of Return of the King is, and you'll be entered in the giveaway. I am looking at a calendar right now, and we will be looking at those entries for 1 full week. Okay? So next week, next week the 9th. September 9th is when that giveaway will close. Okay? So... good luck, and thank you guys for joining us on this saga of reviewing all the Lord of the Rings stuff. So, a little bit of housekeeping before we get into it. If you are new around here, please hit that like and comment and subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hey, you could enter a giveaway there. But also, if you're on a podcatcher of choice, please leave us a review to help us out in the algorithms. Everything matters, and it is all free. Those things are so free, and just takes 2 seconds of your time. We would really appreciate it. And again, like I already said, we're going to be reviewing the Rings of Power stuff. And we are also planning some Halloween stuff here coming up in the future, so stay tuned for all of that. All right, gentlemen, thanks for patiently waiting while I dove into all of that. So, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, directed by Peter Jackson. It is, once again, based on a book called The Return of the King by Junior R. Tolkien. It stars everybody that we have been talking about, including, no, I'm not going to go down the list, that you remember, everybody, listeners. Howard Shore, I think, might have one of his best outings as far as all of the 6 movies in this saga here in this one. So he returns with music. This released in 2003 on the 17th of December. It is 201 minutes theatrically. Nowhere near that extended edition.
It was so long.
The longest.
The longest. It had a budget of $94 million, and yes, this broke the billion box office, $1.146 billion in the box office. Joe, I want your spoiler-free review.
Ooh, if you're ready. So am I. All right, everyone.
Sorry, I was asking Joe.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, so this is patent pending time, right?
All right, I'll ask the real Joe. The real Joe. Go ahead with your spoiler for your review.
I will stand up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion, the finale of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. It is a beautiful set piece. It is the perfect bookend to what we've been experiencing thus far. If you've enjoyed this journey of Frodo, Sam, the Fellowship, this is the perfect conclusion. And I mean that. This is a perfect conclusion to this story. If you've enjoyed the other 2 movies, if you watched through them, then please buckle up, buckle in, whatever that saying is, and enjoy possibly the best experience that you'll have finishing a trilogy. Mm-hmm. Maybe not my favorite movie, but darn near.
Is there a Justin here?
Yeah, I'll stand up now.
Oh, okay. Hi, Justin.
Hey.
Welcome to the show. Can you please give us your spoiler-free review?
Of course. This movie is long. This was one of the few movies that, when I went to the theater to see it initially, they had a concession break in the middle, a bathroom break in the middle, and then they had everyone come back. It was a ride. And if you're a fan, like Joe said, the real Joe said, this is a perfect conclusion to that story. There's a reason why this trilogy is notably one of the best trilogies in film history. This is arguably the perfect bookend. Yeah, arguably. It made bank, and that's saying, for the trilogies, that's usually what happens. But this destroyed the box office. And the acting and the music and the sound score all tied it into a nice little bow for the story of Lord of the Rings. If you're a fan of action and drama and comedy thrown in, sprinkled here and there, you'll enjoy this one. Return of the King, not my favorite, but one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, Return of the King, I love this movie. Absolutely love this movie. It is my favorite of the trilogy. And as has been stated, after rewatching, especially the extended editions, I truly believe that this is the greatest cinematic trilogy of all time. I really do. It is top notch, especially when you especially when you're watching the extended editions. Even though the last one is 4 hours long, like 4 hours 15 minutes long,
23 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even though it's that long, it never feels dull. It always moves along, and I am on the edge of my seat the whole time. I really, really enjoy it. When I saw this as a kid, it came out in 2003, so I was 12 at this point, or 11, sorry. And I remember I actually fell asleep because we were at like the 11 p.m. showing, and I was so tired.
What?
So I didn't actually fully watch this until it came to VHS the next year, or DVD or whatever.
What's a VHS?
Yeah, sorry. VHS is one of those things. It's kind of like this rectangular thing, has film in it. You put it in a VCR, and don't ask me what a VCR is. I can't remember. But Return of the King is so great. Return of the King. I love this movie. I echo the sentiments that you guys have said. It is the perfect ending to what I believe is a perfect trilogy. Like, it is so good, and I'm so glad that we've been able to talk about one of our favorite movie trilogies here on the podcast. So let's get into it. If you have not seen Return of the King, once again, I forgive you, but please pause our podcast right now and go and watch that before you enter our spoiler section. Consider this your official spoiler warning. Hey, you.
What's that? What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then,
Stop it. Get some help.
so you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
All right, so that was your spoiler review. Let's get into the plot, gentlemen. The hobbit Smeagol is fishing with his cousin Deagle,
Yep.
Smeagol and
Yeah.
who discovers the one ring in the river. Smeagol's mind is ensnared by the ring, and he kills his cousin for it. Increasingly corrupted physically and mentally, he retreats into the Misty Mountains and becomes known as Gollum. And guys, I don't know if the beginning of this, like the start of this, is as solid as Fellowship or Two Towers, but I really do enjoy seeing kind of this transformation. The transformation was really cool, and you see some practical effects in there, and then you get over to the CG of Gollum. Joe, you're looking a little skeptical about this intro.
It was very good. So I thought that they did a good job. I thought it was as good. And I think the backstory is very important. Understanding kind of what happened, why Gollum is the way he is, because he's such a kind of pivotal character, especially here, through the woods scene last movie, and then in this one, as they're going through as they're continuing the journey, like up through the staircase and all the issues with Sam and Gollum, or Sam and Smeagol, however you want to define it. I think it was important to understand that it's really two personalities, and they truly are battling each other up to a certain point. So to understand where that came from, I think was huge and very important. And I thought they did a really good job on that.
Yeah. Justin?
Yeah, I agree. I think visually they took a really good take on it with the graphics they used and the way they made him look in the transitional stages. There was one that was kind of like, "Ugh, please don't stop there," but it kept going, and we got the Gollum that we knew and love. And that was
the practical one. I agree. The practical one, like they had the makeup and stuff, and that one looked yikes. I think it was supposed to look yikes, though.
It was, yeah. It was supposed to show how much this ring has affected Smeagol's body, and not only that, his life as well. And it really did a good job of setting that tone, like you said, that there's multiple personalities, and they really wanted to cement that in there because this is an impactful story for Smeagol and for Frodo. I think they did a good job. Great opening, good intro. They could have literally put this anywhere throughout this trilogy, and it still would have hit just as hard. I think that opening up with a lighter tone like this and then showing the darkness take over was a good way to set up the story for sure for this finale. It's like finale.
Finale. So, finale, I'm going to move on.
Ready Player One vibe?
Yeah. Centuries later, during the War of the Ring, Gandalf leads Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and King Theoden of Rohan to Isengard, where they reunite with Merry and Pippin. I can't believe I'm reading this paragraph because like 4 hours later, I just even forgot that this happened in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've got to pick up the task at hand, right? They got to come back to Merry and Pippin. They're just kind of there with the tree folk.
Yes. And they're loving life. They're eating hefty. They are smoking the pipe, if you get my drift. And Gandalf does...
tobacco.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe.
Old Toby. No, it was old Toby. That's tobacco.
They were a little too happy for it to be just tobacco.
Well, that's because they're merry hobbits. You're reading too much into this. That was old Toby. It was just tobacco.
All right. I'll trust you. I don't trust him. Yeah, Gandalf retrieves Sauron's Palantir. And Joe, remind us of what the Palantir is.
It is the black crystal ball, essentially. It's Sauron's way of looking into different things and his way of communicating directly with Saruman and anywhere else. Apparently there was multiple Palantirs throughout Middle-earth, but 2 of them for sure were in the hands of both Sauron and Saruman.
It's like a Middle-earth version of a cell phone because they didn't want to send eagles with letters. So they wanted to use this cell phone.
Fair.
Yeah.
No
It's
eagles.
a very, very powerful cell phone. Anyway, so this, Christopher Lee's up on his high horse. In this case, it's a tower. And Wormtongue, I believe. Is it Wormtongue? Yeah. He ends up killing Saruman in the back by stabbing him. And you get this, like, Saruman's just, like, falling down from the tower.
Phrasing. Killing him in the back by stabbing him.
At 2 brute.
Yes.
Yeah.
By stabbing him. And then he falls onto a wheel. And it was a pretty brutal death. A spiked wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
Very brutal death. It was like a windmill, kind of, or actually more like a mill, like, one of those water mills. A propeller.
I mean, if you've made it this far, you've already seen this. But yeah, imagine a fence with all the spiky things sticking up, and he just falls directly on.
And then so Pippin actually, he's the one that kind of finds the Palantir, and then Gandalf kind of takes it away really quickly. But Pippin ends up looking into the Palantir, seeing Sauron and a burning tree.
Burning white tree.
Burning white tree. Later on, we do come to find out that burning white tree is the tree of Gondor. That is supposed to be sprouted when the true king is residing in Gondor. And hey, we're talking about a return of a king, so maybe that comes into play later.
No, he does.
No, okay. Gandalf deduces that the enemy plans to attack Gondor's capital, Minas Tirith. He rides there to warn Gondor's steward, Denethor. Pippin, who accompanies him, swears fealty to Denethor, whose now deed heir, Boromir, has saved his life. On Gandalf's instruction, he triggers the lighting of the beacons, which call for help from Rohan. Now, there's actually a lot in here. So Denethor, he's actually, he doesn't want anything to do with Gandalf right now. He's
grieving the loss of his son.
Not only that, he's mad with grief, but not only that, like, the way that they portray his type of grief is somewhat similar to his attachment to the ring and why he wants the ring in Gondor. And that's kind of the sense that I got here, is that, like, it wasn't just him grieving Boromir, it was also him grieving the fact that he doesn't have the weapon in Gondor. And he doesn't know this, but Boromir he actually saved the ring, from getting back into Orc's hands. Like, it's just a crazy. This dude's nuts.
Unfortunately, yeah.
He's a little bit
he was off
jaded.
his rocker.
Yeah. Most definitely. But he doesn't want these beacons lit. He doesn't want to seem like he needs help. Gandalf and Pip really devise that plan themselves and undertake it themselves without his knowledge.
Yeah, he's grieving too hard, right? He doesn't care anymore. He's lost all sense of responsibility for protecting his people, the kingdom, the lands beyond. He is so overcome with grief that he's like, all right, well, my son is dead, and my other son, he sucks. So F life, I'm done. I don't need to be here. I'm just going to go cry or eat my fruit and vegetables in a weird manner while Hobbit sings at me.
Very aggressive.
That was
eating, that's for sure.
And that goes into a whole nother thing with Faramir, who is his one and only son now. And Faramir, he's just trying so hard to be in his father's good graces. He's trying to feel love from his dad, and he really doesn't, and doesn't at all, actually. But Denethor sends Faramir to his death, and with no qualms about it. He's just like, do you want to serve me? And then Faramir's like, I don't really want to, but I'm going to, because I'm trying to seek your love, seek it to a fault, really. And he goes and battles some orcs down by the river. They had a van there too. And what?
That's funny.
They were living in a van down by the river. Come on, Joe.
So I know we're jumping. That fight is a little bit further ahead. But I want to talk about, because Joe mentioned the singing of the Hobbit and the eating was mentioned by you. Cinematography wise, okay. So that scene of him eating is very grotesque. It's very gross. You see juices dripping down his face. He cracks a chicken bone, and you see blood drip down his face as Pip is singing. That is hard cut. It's literally hard cut with the Faramir fight. So in my mind, when I watch that, I'm watching him break the land's body, pretty much, like break the future of his country, pretty much, of all of the things that he needs to provide for and keep going. He's doing the exact opposite and destroying it and staying with himself in this greed. So I feel like that was really well done cinematography sense wise.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree completely. So I mean, Gandalf tries to get him off his rocker. It doesn't work. But Gandalf does have a plan, and he goes with Pippin, sends Pippin on this mission to light the beacons regardless of Denethor's demands. So Pippin does end up doing that. I just really, the reason why I love this movie a lot is because I just love the hobbits in this movie. Like, the hobbits are so cool. Samwise is awesome. Merry is awesome. Pip is awesome. Like, the hobbits are awesome in this.
Frodo's okay. Yeah.
Is it you, Frodo?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get to him later. I want to get to him later in a more serious manner. But, Joe, you were about to say something? Was I correct?
No, I agree. I like all this stuff. The importance of lighting the things, calling from aid from Rohan was huge. And that was the whole plan, right? Before they even left, they were like, look for the torches. They will be lit when you see them. Come to our aid. And then they got to Minas Tirith, and the steward of Gondor said, no, not happening. We don't need help. Yeah. We've got this. The enemy's at our doorstep, and they're totally taking our lands, but we got this.
Another important note there too is that Denethor knows that Gandalf's party is the true heir of the throne of Gondor, and he calls Gandalf off. He's like, Gandalf, bro, I know that you have the king. I know what you're trying to do here. No, I'm not lighting these beacons because I don't want. This is my city. I am the steward of Gondor, as you.
I'm going to sit on my little chair to the left-hand side of the throne.
And eat cherry tomatoes like, oh my goodness, gross. All right, we're moving on. Frodo, who carries the ring, and Sam continue their journey towards Mordor, unaware that Gollum, now their guide, plans to betray them and take the ring for himself. The trio witness the Witch King of Angmar, Lord of the Nine Nazgul, setting off towards Gondor with his army of orcs. This is an awesome scene. Like, you just see, like, in the background, this weird looking, like, castle type thing.
Oh yeah, giant green glowy castle.
This green glowy castle, and this is the realm of this Witch King, and he has his own army as well. He's got his dragon too, and it's just really cool to see this set piece.
Yeah, it's definitely
a fell beast.
Definitely some Slytherin magic going on.
A what?
Slytherin magic.
It's called it's called a fell beast. the giant dragon bird thing.
The dragon?
It's a fell beast, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dragon.
Or the correct term, a fell beast, yeah.
An orc dog.
No, warg.
It's got wings.
Wargs and fell beasts. They have names.
Eagles?
That thing is a lizard, and it has wings. It's a dragon.
Fell beast. Agreed.
It looks awesome. Regardless, the green glow is seen by like Gandalf and everyone accompanying on the other side of the mountains, pretty much, and they see this giant green beam of light, almost Ghostbuster-esque beam going up into the sky. and they know, crap has hit the fan real quick.
Yeah, just real quick. So
Yeah, the shots though, as they're ascending the staircase,
yeah,
the perspective shots from that are so cool.
Yeah,
You mean the
okay.
sheer cliff
Cinematography-wise.
staircase that they have to climb?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's just all good. Anyway, his army of orcs there, they start traveling out. They don't. It is kind of weird that the Witch King doesn't like sense the power of the ring like there, because it's like right there. That's probably the only thing that was just like sort of odd, but I guess it might just be hard to feel that this ring is with somebody who's so small and so tiny under the radar.
Well, also at that
Mr.
same
Frodo.
time, Pip
Frodo.
touched the what is it? The Palantir.
Palantir.
And
Yeah.
so the Eye of Sauron is literally watching, thinking that Pip has the ring at that point. So he's already got a plan. We got to send out
Yeah.
and try to get the ring from where we think it is, where he thinks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that was a perfect timing for them to sneak on by.
Yeah.
To the other side.
All right, Joe, we're going to get all in the feels here.
I'm ready.
With Sam. So Gollum conspires to frame Sam. Gollum and Sam have kind of been at each other's throat, kind of this whole
Literally.
trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Literally,
not kind of. They've
literally,
definitely
and
been at odds.
physically and verbally. But Gollum takes some of the bread. I almost
bread.
said non-bread, but that's Bible.
A little different, but I got you.
Takes some of the bread, puts it on Sam's like cloak and like his cape just crumbs, and then throws the rest of the bread off of the mountain that they're climbing. And Gollum is obviously trying to get Sam to be blamed for the food being missing. Frodo is then taken in by the deception and orders Sam to go home. And this scene,
Oh, it's
like
hard.
Sean Astin, just like bravo. He did such a good job, just his compassion, his passion for the role. Mr. Joe, you like Samwise.
He is
go into
my
this a
favorite
little
character.
bit. Yeah.
He sells it, right? As we're watching, and this is building. This has been building for 2 movies now. Sam's distrust of Smeagol / Gollum. And for good reason. Sam sees everything that Frodo is blind to, because Frodo has a good heart and sees past it. And Frodo also being corrupted by the ring, he understands Gollum on that level, whereas Sam just understands his deceptive, sneaky level. So it has all been building to this moment. And right here, we see that switch. There is no more Smeagol Gollum. It is only Gollum, and he's going to get his way. He's whispering in Frodo's ear every chance he can get. Oh, he wants the ring. He wants to carry it. He wants to hold it. He wants it for himself. And he's feeding these lies to him over time. And so finally he sees his moment. Okay, this is it. And he strikes. He takes the lemon spread, throws it off the cliff. And we have possibly Sam's best scene. If not this one, then it comes later. But this might be my favorite one. And you just see Sam's heart break. And like you said, Sean Astin sells it. We believe it. In this moment, Frodo tells him, "Go home, Sam. We don't need you anymore." And he says, "We don't need you," meaning that him and Gollum are a pair, and Sam is no longer part of that. I think that was the thing that hit me the most was, we don't need you.
Yeah.
And not, I don't need you. But he has been effectively replaced by Gollum, Smeagol.
Which is too sad knowing the end of the movie, but we'll certainly get to that. Justin, do you like this scene?
I do. I think this is a great scene. It's very emotional, but Sam shouldn't have eaten all that bread, and he wouldn't have, been sent home or told to go home. So, yeah.
That's what happened.
He ate all the bread, and then they don't have any food for the rest of the trip.
Fat hobbitses.
Oh, there it is. No, I really like it. I honestly, it is good. I think the ending scene is a little bit better for me, But this one is up there for sure. The shows, he sells it. It's such great acting on all three of these parties involved. I think that it sold that distrust finally coming to fruition, and Frodo realizing, that Sam might be a threat. And of course, it's the ring and Smeagol affecting that thought process, but at the same time, it could be a thing. And if you ate all the bread, then, got to cut you loose.
Yeah. So Frodo is taken in by deception. Gollum then tricks Frodo into venturing into the lair of the giant spider Shelob. Shelob?
Yeah,
Yeah,
arachnophobia. Here it comes.
Yeah. Friend of Test Your Might, Cam Hoggins. He cannot watch this scene. Frodo has a battle with this spider.
The basilisk?
That's what I thought.
Immediately where my mind went.
I'm tired, guys. Sorry. So he has a battle with this spider, and Sting is there, and he also has the light that Galadriel gave him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's kind of traveling through these like corridors, these like tunnels in this cave, and he's getting trapped into web upon web upon web, and then eventually he gets out. But then the spider does get him. Frodo narrowly escapes and confronts Gollum, who falls down a chasm after a scuffle. But then Shelob discovers, paralyzes, and binds Frodo. So, like, she stabs him with her stinger. And
But who comes to the rescue?
dang nabbit, that was a big stinger.
Yeah, the sound effect it made as well was like, jeez, oof, right in his
Done
gullet.
very well.
Yeah, but then Joe, who comes to the rescue? Who is it?
Of course, it's the orcs. The orcs come up over the ridge pass. Before that. No, Sam. Sam comes to the rescue, obviously.
Yes.
There's that moment that they give us, but Frodo doesn't know, where Sam's going down the staircase and he's headed home, right, quote unquote. And he goes, and on his way down, he finds the evidence that Gollum used to frame him. And he goes, oh no, I've made a big mistake. And he freaking hightails it up the stairs, through Shelob's lair, all the way out through the other side, which is a maze. So good on him for getting through easily, quickly. And he sees his best friend, his companion, down, right?
Yeah.
Looks dead. He thinks he's dead.
Thinks he's dead, actually. Yeah.
So much so that he says, I will carry on this journey and do what you could not. Pulls the ring from him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hears noises. Oh no. So he hides, and then the orcs come, and we find out. Thankfully, Frodo is not dead.
I think like that's such a simple, minute thing that Sam did right there of taking that ring, but that basically made the whole entire journey successful. That one task.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just one of the moments where Sam was integral and the most important part, because there are several of those moments where it never would have happened without him.
No,
But
yeah,
yes.
well, we'll get to that even more so, but yeah, I mean that's why I said that this is truly, like, yeah, it is the Return of the King, but this is truly the Hobbit story in this final movie. I love the story of Aragorn and getting that throne back. I think that is awesome, but at the same time, it is. And even more so, this is their story here, because again, none of this stuff is happening without Sam jumping in front of Frodo and saving him, without Pippin lighting those torches, the beacons. All of it is this Hobbit story, and I just love it. So Sam does take the ring. He realizes his mistake when a group of orcs takes Frodo captive, but manages to rescue Frodo as the orcs fight among themselves. So orcs, they are very egocentric, and they believe that they are the be-all and all of the orc kingdom, and they end up fighting. And
A little civil unrest, never hurt anyone.
Yeah,
Except for all the dead people.
Lo and behold, that is a very good distraction for Sam to get into yeah, figuring things out. So, okay.
He gets through, makes the top tower, finds Frodo, rescues Frodo, gets him out. They escape, and then boom, they find orc armament, and now they look like
Yes.
little orcs.
Yep, little orcs. They are traveling down to Mount Doom as well. Okay, I'm just trying to see here. Yes, so King Theoden gathers his army. Elrond tells Aragorn that Arwen is dying, having refused to leave Middle-earth. Elrond gives Aragorn Andrew, can you say it?
Anduil.
Anduil, which is the sword that cut off the ring from Sauron's hand.
Which wasn't called the Anduil back then. It had a different name, but yeah.
Well,
It's been
yeah,
reforged.
Reforged.
Cool.
It's now.
It was
They had to give it a new
reforged
name.
from the shards of King Elendil's sword, Narsil.
Yes.
There you go. Which is, that was the one that cut the fingers off.
Exactly.
And Elrond urges Aragorn to commit to claiming Gondor's throne, to which he is the heir. And I think that this is just so pivotal because Elrond has foresight to know that if there is going to be a king of Gondor, the true line, back in its place, then, Justin, that's going to be Sauron's biggest enemy, right?
Yeah, that's true. It is so close to Mordor, as well. Like, I know that's one of the, other than the elves, that's one of the biggest, like, governments, I guess that's the way to put it. Biggest people of power in Middle Earth is Gondor. So, being the rightful heir, Aragorn, that's a big shoe to fit and a throne to sit on. And he hasn't wanted it for a long time. And so this is a pivotal moment for sure for Middle Earth as a whole.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he never wanted it.
Yeah.
No.
He forsook the throne and gave up that life 87 years ago, whatever it was. He's old.
No, he is 87. It was like maybe 50 or 60.
Yeah. But he, he gave that life up. He didn't want it.
Yeah.
And for him to reclaim it, is a turning of the tides.
So, joined by Legolas and Gimli, Aragorn travels the paths of the dead and pledges to release the ghosts from their curse should they come to Gondor's aid.
This
and
was
this,
awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, right?
I really enjoyed this scene. Joe doesn't.
When they
Nope.
clashed swords and the ghostly king was like, oh crap, that's, this is a real thing. He's making a real deal right now. They were in the thick of it at that point. They were surrounded by things they could not defeat. This is the say the hidden card up the sleeve of the fight for Middle Earth here. That
Yeah.
is really going to
Playing a
change
trump
the
card.
tide of the battle coming soon, for sure.
It was not
Joe,
my
you
favorite.
didn't like all this dead stuff?
I didn't like any of it. It's the bit of the movie that actually takes everything away from me. And I liked it in the book, and that's the problem. Is like in the book, it was very different in my head, and when it's really hard to do. It's
just
film.
your fault. It's not the movies.
I'm sure everyone else who doesn't care about the books loves this scene. But if you liked the books, and if you're like me, where I have a unbelievable imagination, so in my head, when they had this army of the dead, it did not look like how it looked in the films.
Were they like zombies?
It was nothing closer to zombies. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I like
was
the
more
ghostly aspect of it better.
Yeah, I like this better than zombie type things. Yeah.
But
I didn't.
also, this was one of
I
the
just was not thrilled.
one of the key points here for Aragorn as well, because they said only a true heir of the throne can take away this curse, pretty much. So that was him basically stepping up to the mantle.
He had
by
to
doing that.
own his birthright.
Yes.
yeah.
But yeah, not my favorite.
Well,
Definitely
Joe,
took a lot
you
away from me.
are majority
I know,
rules here.
I'm among the
It
minority
is-
here.
All right. So anyway, they go to this army to help with the.
The skull thing was really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right, cool.
I'll give you that much.
All right.
When
all
the
skulls.
wall breaks down and tens of thousands of skulls
All right,
flood.
It's a waterfall. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a skull fall. I don't know where I was going with that. Meanwhile, Faramir, who was earlier overwhelmed and driven back to Minas Tirith by the Witch King, is gravely wounded in a suicide charge, believing his son to be dead. This is that kind of scene where, Denethor is like eating and it's just gross.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is where I alluded to earlier. Great cinematography.
Yeah.
And also, Pippin sings pretty well. He actually sang that.
Very well.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, Faramir is he's wounded, and Denethor, believing his son to be dead, he falls into madness, and this is really insane. Like, you have to be a special type of insane not to check for a pulse. Like, he didn't even check, and like Pippin, this like his
more
aid,
than that.
Yeah, he had people telling him he's
aid.
still alive. Like,
Yeah, I know. Like, he's alive. He's alive. He just needs medicine or whatever, And Pippin is yelling at him, and this Denethor is just gone. He's just straight up gone.
Yes.
So yeah, Gandalf marshals the defenders. Now, the key to that sentence actually is that Denethor, he says no.
He gave up.
He gave up. He says everybody fall back after his son died. Died.
just let them take us.
Quote unquote. Yeah, and Denethor, as Justin said, he's just like, fall back, we're done for. I have nothing else to live for. Even though he really didn't like Faramir. Like, dude, this guy's insane.
Well, it goes back to the scenes with Gandalf, right? He'll realize before the end how much he loves you. And he tells Faramir that. He says he will understand before it's over that he still loves you. And in that love, like, we have real grief. He doesn't know how to process. He thinks his son is dead, so he gave up completely. He tells all of his soldiers, all the protectors of Gondor, whatever, fall back, do whatever you want. We're all dead. I am gonna go die now with my son. Where he proceeds to then pour oil all over himself and try and light himself on fire.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone else is leaving their posts. So Gandalf has to say, get back. Like, we are fighting a war.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Go back to your spots, hold the fort down, like, back to your positions. Do what you must, like,
Exactly.
to protect the people.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this idiot. He's mad.
And Pippin, while they're having this kind of like funeral ceremony, trying to set Faramir ablaze, Pippin runs down this little hobbit again. Like, this is his journey, and he's like, "Yo, Gandalf, this guy's crazy. He's about to burn his son alive." And yeah, Gandalf takes him back up kind of the city, the mountain. He is met by the Nazgul, one of the Nazguls, and the Witch King. He does this like spell with fire or whatever, and breaks Gandalf's staff just completely. I thought that was super, super cool. I thought this was an awesome scene.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
shows the power.
Yeah, Nazguls are very powerful, that's for sure. And this was kind of like the first time that we've seen Gandalf go toe to toe, and yeah, it's powerful, especially at this time in the movie.
He went toe to toe with Sauron in The Hobbit, so.
Well, I mean, like the Nazgul in All right, continue.
Yeah, I know.
He had a great encounter with Sauron, if we want to talk about toe to toe. But other than that, the Hobbit never happened.
Toe to toe, he got his butt kicked by Sauron. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the first time.
That was just the necromancer.
The second time, Saruman tried to light him on fire, and it didn't even affect him.
Well, yeah, but Sauron got killed by getting stabbed in the back, So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah,
Denethor is at a blaze and in agony jumps to his death. So literally runs off the edge of this giant cliff facing, runs around the tree, doesn't light that on fire. Continues to run and yeets himself off the edge.
Yeet.
Which was an awesome scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great scene. Like,
I think
Justin, you talk about cinematography. Yes.
The camera
exactly.
panning right there, it panned back and you saw the city as a whole from so close in to him running all the way back to the entire city. And this is much bigger than Helm's Deep. So, yeah.
Awesome stuff. Okay, Theoden arrives and leads his army against the orcs. Despite initial success against orcs in the ensuing battle, they are decimated by the Oliphant riding Haradrim, and the Witch King mortally wounds Theoden. Honestly, we got an outline here, but this is all fights. Like, this is just battle upon battle. You got a bunch of Oliphants. They're huge elephants. They're being ridden on by these like Mad Max kind of looking people. Like, they have like that garb that, you know, it would be in like Mad Max Fury Road or something like that. It's just
a little bit, kind of tribal looking.
Yeah, it's a lot of fighting for sure. But this brings up that trump card that Joe was talking about in the last episode, with the fight with the Witch King, where Eowyn, the romance of, you know, Aragorn in the last film a little bit.
Love triangle. Ooh.
Yeah.
Just stop. We're moving on.
So
it's not even in the outline.
So
Gosh.
the Witch King was like, no mortal man can kill me. And of course she takes off her headgear, her giant helmet, and it's a woman. And this was great for like CG. Like, this helmet crumbling, she stabs him right in the face. Right in the head.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
This helmet just crumbles and kind of like bends and contorts around the blade and just shakes violently, and then it was awesome.
Yeah,
really cool.
It implodes, right? Everything, like, it looks like all of the pressure of the world smashes it and crumples it in. It was a very cool scene.
Oh yeah. Absolutely epic. So yada yada yada. However, his niece Eowyn slays the Witch King with Merry's help. Theoden dies in his niece's arms. Aragorn then arrives with his army of the dead, and this battle is basically won at this point, because the army of the dead helps out. I know you don't like the ghost thing or whatever, but I love their speed, and as Justin would say, ferocity, through the through the like corridors of Gondor, of Minas Tirith, just like going through, just demolishing orcs one by one, and then you get also during this scene, you get the camaraderie again between Legolas and Gimli. They're counting each of the orcs that they slay. And then Legolas takes down one of the Oliphants, and that was an awesome scene too.
Yeah, so to add on to the Army of the Dead fight,
Stop it, Joe.
I know Joe thought of it as like zombies or a little bit different, but I like this.
Just different.
I like this ghostly sense for the visual representation, because you're able to see them come in, and it's almost as if a wave goes through all of the enemies. So it works really well to show it as a ghostly presence, rather a physical presence. So visually, the green hue really rocked it for that fight.
Yeah, I loved it.
And
it looks like they all get slimered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
great.
basically like here we go,
Double Dare
sleeve,
for
card up the sleeve,
Nickelodeon.
you're gone, like we won. And yes, the Legolas and Gimli counting when they take down that elephant, and they're like, that still only counts as one, like dead. So good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's alright. I'm not big on the battle scene. Sorry, guys. Give me the story. Give me the heartfelt moments between Frodo and Sam.
No,
Give me the little things. That's where I'm at. The battles they bore me.
You
I'm
can't
sorry.
have a movie cinematography perfection through. No, sorry. Not with this. Not with Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry, my friend. You can't just. I would not be able to sit through a full trilogy of just Sam and Frodo walking.
Yeah, like if it was just Sam and Frodo walking, I'm not watching the Oregon
No, I need
Trail.
all the story bits. I just don't need the battle. The battles were not exciting for me.
Well,
They
that's
were
like-
a low point in the films. Helm's Deep, The Fields of Rohan, all those were not exciting. My opinion, I can have it, right? I just don't think the battles are that good.
Yeah, it makes a great movie experience with all of this extra added depth and like the wars and everything that the ring is affecting outside of just a physical ring going back to where it came from hence it came.
Yeah.
I feel like this was all added beneficial content that should always be present in good movies.
That's the thing. It's not added. This is
not.
part of the story. Yeah. It's in the book, you know?
Yeah.
It's
See Joe over there just cutting pages out, being like, oh, walk here, walk here.
I'm happy that it happened. I just don't think it's great. I don't think that the battles are the best part of these films. I think that they are the low points. And that's my opinion. I'm going to keep sharing that. I
wouldn't say
okay.
I wouldn't say they're the best parts of the movie. I would say that they are up there with the best parts. And
I disagree.
He puts the romance scenes up higher.
Continue. He really enjoyed that love triangle in the second movie.
I would put the love scenes and then the battles and then everything else. Love scenes, battles.
So Eagles are up there too then.
Whoa.
I would put the eagle scene in this movie above the battle scenes and above the romance scenes. Yes.
Cancelled. Okay. Aragorn decides to march on Mordor and distract Sauron and from Frodo. So this is another thing that's going to distract the eye of Sauron from seeing Frodo underneath his feet. How do you feel about this? Aragorn just marching up to the Black Gates on steeds and being like, "Hey, yo, I'm right here. Let's start the fight at your front door. You know, I saw your episode of MTV Cribs last week, and here we are. We're here to fight."
Well, that's that calls back to our Two Towers episode. Anyway, I mean that is it's just kind of something that fulfills what Joe wants within this movie, right? It is Aragorn realizing the true nature of the situation. They will not win no matter what if Frodo does not complete his mission. So it's just the story beat that is within the big battle and the, stuff like that. And Aragorn, he takes on the crystal ball thing, and he talks to Sauron himself. He's like, "Yo, I'm the king, and I'm coming back, and the only way to help is to kind of march on him and take his distraction elsewhere, Frodo is extremely weak, and Sam is with him at this point. All of Sauron's remaining forces march to meet Aragorn's diversion, allowing the hobbits to reach Mount Doom. Gollum, who survived his earlier fall, attacks them, but Frodo still manages to enter the mountain. Now, obviously, the outline is very bare bones in that way, but Joe, we'll give you, I'll give you a minute.
To the rescue
I'll give you a minute to talk about Sam here.
I don't need a minute. Sam saves the day. Sam saves Frodo's bacon one more time. Sam fights off Gollum. Sam defends Frodo. Sam carries Frodo because Frodo can't walk himself up there. Sam saves the day. There you go. That was like, 15 seconds.
Yeah,
this is Sam's story, ultimately.
Also,
Frodo just happens to be a bystander.
I accidentally skipped over the fact that Aragorn actually did fulfill the promise to the army of the dead, and he freed them and their spirits, so they are free finally and put to rest.
Like dust in the wind. There you go. I made a music reference too. You're welcome, guys.
But yeah, I mean that it is ultimately Sam and Frodo's journey. Like it is both of them, and you just kind of see. We have to put it in context that Sam is probably the more likable character because of just how affected Frodo is by the ring. And also at this point, the ring is maybe a mile away from the eye. It is like right there.
Less than that.
Yeah.
Quarter of a mile, maybe.
Yeah. He's very close. To Sauron right now, and so the ring just must be extremely, extremely heavy. You thought the ring was heavy when Bilbo dropped it onto the ground when he was trying to give up the ring in Fellowship. It is an anvil, being strung around Frodo's neck.
Well, just like
And-
anything, when you take it up in elevation, it gets heavier.
Goodness.
He's going up the mountain of Mount Doom and going up in elevation.
No.
It's much heavier at that point.
But a huge part of the book is that the physical weight of the ring increases the closer they get.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job. You can actually see when Frodo has his shirt off in the scenes that it's chafed and bruising from the chain that he's worn. And it's not because the chain is heavy. It's a mithril chain. It's very lightweight, although he breaks it easily, which does make sense. But like it's hanging on a chain. And you see like the physical bruising, chafing, red marks from the weight that he's having to bear. The weight is actually increasing as they get closer. And one of the reasons that he can't get up the mountain is because it is literally physically so hard and difficult. And at this point they had been, well, book-wise, they'd been like thirsty and super tired and hadn't eaten in a day or more. So
Probably hungry for some bread.
Yeah.
yes.
So, but the weight obviously also shows that Frodo did not succumb to the power of the ring all the way up until this very moment. So he is in the mountain. He is about to throw the ring down in the fire, but he succumbs to that power, and he puts it on his finger. But Gollum actually manages to bite off his finger and reclaim it.
Jumps on him while he's invisible. Like,
Yeah.
you can't see where he is. Sam doesn't know where he is. He just thinks Frodo's bolting and going to take it for himself.
Yeah.
But Gollum jumps on an invisible person and bites
You
a
see his
finger off.
footprints.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. Bites a finger off, and you immediately get Frodo back screaming and angry.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop Frodo now, does it?
No.
He still wants that ring for himself.
They do end up, Frodo still manages to get up and go and try to get that ring back. They do struggle together and both fall off the edge. Frodo manages to cling on and is pulled up by...
Sam, one more time. Saving the day.
One more time, at like
This
good
time-
old times.
This time, the rock doesn't give way from Sam's weight.
Yes.
Yeah. When it matters, it matters.
Yeah.
Gollum falls and dies. The ring, which fell with him, disintegrates in the lava. Mount Doom erupts as Sauron meets his demise, while Aragorn's army emerges victorious as its enemies flee.
They bare
Think of
bones
like
it.
think of like the
They did bare
cinematography on
bones it.
this one. Like you see Sauron's eye immediately look at the opening of the Mount Doom. He knows
As soon
exactly.
as Frodo puts on his finger.
Yeah. As soon as it happens, he's like all attention. Oh, it's already. Oh no, it's gonna fall in the fire. Someone get in there. You know, he knows. And then the earthquake and the eruption. It's like you see the tower crumble and Sauron's eye freaking out, like all heck is breaking loose. And then you see the ground around Aragorn and all of the good guys basically crumble and fall down with all the enemies. So, and it's
Yeah,
just
they
like,
got really lucky there wasn't any cracks in their foundation.
yeah, weird. Definitely weird. And it didn't circle around them too, because they were surrounded at that point.
No, it didn't fully circle. It just
it
kind of did a
horseshoed in.
Y horseshoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, how did they get off there unexplained? I don't know.
No, yeah.
There got to be something that gets them off there if it did.
The Eagles.
Oh, yeah, Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles would have.
Oh, speaking of eagles, what's happening now?
Yeah, so anyway, Gandalf rescues the hobbits with the help of eagles. And, you know, also the eagles help fight the dragons. And I thought that was a cool scene, too, where he kind of sees the moth here, and Gandalf kind of like understands what's going to happen. Eagles are flying in. That was really cool, too. So they end up going to... Yeah, they end up going to save the hobbits on Mount Doom there. The surviving fellowship is happily returned in Minas Tirith. Aragorn is crowned King of Gondor and marries Arwen. And such a touching scene too, like when Frodo wakes up just to see all the hobbits like come into that room. You got Merry and Pippin jumping, and like what's funny is that a hobbit, right? Like Pippin is already telling stories to Frodo, and this man just woke up from carrying the ring to Mordor. He's like, I just woke up from a nap and you're telling me about your day already? Like, calm down here. But
they're so happy.
Yeah, they are. And you just get what's really cool is that you get the fellowship all in one room again, obviously minus Boromir. But yeah, it was epic.
It was a perfect bow tie to the Rivendell scene from before. Yeah. Like, right, there's a beautiful tying it up. All these threads are finally coming back full circle fruition. And yeah, it was a beautiful scene.
Yeah, the threads that Joe doesn't need in the movie, but he likes that they're being tied up.
No, those are important. Those are the movie. The threads I don't need are the battle scenes. Those are loose threads.
Also, another thing to mention is that this is the first time Frodo sees Gandalf after he's dead. So like he's like, what, bro? You're alive? Like Gandalf? Like he's so happy. And then also after they're married and everything, Arwen and Aragorn, the hobbits go to bow to Aragorn, and what does Aragorn say, Joe?
You bow to no one.
Yeah, and I'm getting choked up a little bit right now even talking about it. Like that was
Well, we didn't even talk about
I'll admit it.
The march on Mordor when he gave a speech to all of the people with him, and then he says for Frodo and just runs towards the enemies. That was very impactful as well.
Yeah. The for Frodo got me, the you bow to no one demolished me. Like I was crying, man. Like it was epic. That
one gets me every time.
Yeah, it does. Hobbits return home to the Shire. Sam marries Rosie. A few years later, Frodo, who is still suffering inside and outside, departs Middle-earth from the Undying Lands with his uncle Bilbo, Gandalf, and the elves. He leaves Sam the Red Book of Westmarch, which details their adventures. Sam returns to the Shire, where he embraces Rosie and their children. The end.
It ends with the same line that's in the book as well, isn't it? Like Sam says, like, I'm home or something like that. It's literally the same line that's in the book, the final line.
Yeah, Sam returns to his family in the Shire, saddened by Frodo's departure, but happy with the life he's made for himself. Yeah, and he's home.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, we got through it. We watched all the extended editions. We're donezo. So let's get with our review here. 5 out of 5. Joe, what do you got?
It's a 5. It's a 5 out of 5.
There you go. Justin?
This one was good. This one was great. And just like the other two, this one is awesome. That's a 5 as well from me. Must watch, I'm sure from Joe as well. Absolutely. Great bow on the story. The Eagles were apparently okay in this sense. And
I said that on the outset.
Yeah.
From episode 1, we can go back if you guys watching, listening, want to go check. I said that the use in this trilogy is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah. He said that several times.
All right. Well, the Eagles were okay. And excellent story, excellent cinematography. Action sequences were great. The bow on the story, perfect. Must watch. 5 from the Duck.
5 out of 5 from me. This is my favorite of the trilogy. It gets me in the feels all the time. I would give this a 6 if we had that scale, but 5 out of 5, amazing. I love this trilogy. After watching it, it has certainly cemented in my mind as the greatest trilogy of all time, as far as in movies are concerned. This movie's so good. So let's give you guys a chance to watch all the extended editions. Reminder, we are doing a giveaway based on this episode. So if you have not already done so, please hit that subscribe button. To enter the giveaway, you also have to hit a comment down below your favorite moment of Return of the King. So once again, you must be subscribed to enter the giveaway, and you must enter a comment down below your favorite part of Return of the King, and we will give you a VUDU gift card for the equivalent to purchase the 4K extended editions. So if you want to follow us on socials to make sure that you are up to date with all of our updates, please follow us at What the Fun Pod on Twitter and Facebook. And you could also email us at whatthefunpodcast@gmail.com if you want to connect with us. If you're listening on a podcatcher of choice, please leave a review. We would greatly appreciate it. And this has been our review of Lord of the Rings Return of the King. My name is Mike. That is Joe. That is Justin. This has been What the Fun Show. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, bye.